Hi, I'm attachment specialist Adam Lane Smith, and today I'm here to talk to you about the top 5 ways to get unstuck in a bad relationship. Maybe you're there, maybe you've been there, or maybe you know about somebody who is, but I'm going to give you the top 5 ways to fix it. So let's go through them together, and I've got them on a note card because my memory ain't perfect. Maybe you can relate. Number 1, work out. Now, physical exercise is huge for your latent anxiety. A lot of times our brains are disrupted and they're more emotional than usual or more emotional than we like, especially if we have attachment issues. But also if we're in bad relationships, if we're in relationships that struggle, if we're always thinking about them and ruminating on them, those things can spike us up emotionally, so we struggle to overcome those issues. Working out is great in numerous ways. It's not just about looking better or feeling better, although those help. It's about shifting your brain chemistry, shifting it every day by working out at least a little bit. It helps, especially if you work out earlier in the day so your whole day goes better. That'll help if you have bad reactions in a relationship. That'll help if you struggle to think about things and express exactly how you're feeling. Working out can help. It also makes you look better, which ups your own emotional, mental value in the relationship. If you don't feel great about yourself, it can be hard to really have that conversation or even try to apply any healthy leverage in a bad relationship or a troubled relationship or just one where you're both struggling. That can hurt. A lot of women sometimes struggle with the idea of lifting. They say, I don't want to look buff. Trust me, you won't accidentally look like a bodybuilder. That doesn't happen. What might happen is everything gets a little bit perkier. So you might even like those views. It can help. Men, working out really helps confidence too. So anybody can be in a bad relationship. Working out is one of the easiest first steps. It also builds your confidence because if you build that discipline in where you're just working out 20 minutes a day, you're watching Netflix, so you pick up a dumbbell. You do some squats while you watch Netflix. You work your abs. You sit on a yoga ball and bounce and work your core. Rubber bands, the exercise bands, resistance training, anything while watching your show. You can work this into the rest of the day. You're probably sitting down for 20 minutes a day at least. You can work in some sitting exercises. It's great for you. You'll feel more confident and it'll lower your overall anxiety level, which will help in every regard. That's why working out is step number 1. Step number 2, be honest. A lot of times people are stuck in bad relationships because they are just not honest about what's not working. And both people are miserable and it goes unspoken. In fact, some marriages seem like they're only holding together because we never talk about our problems. So we're just going to never speak about them for 50 years and we'll just be quietly miserable together. Well, that sounds like a living hell. That sounds terrible. Be honest. Be honest about what's not working. Be honest about how unhappy you are. Be honest in a way that helps. Say, you know what? This piece of our relationship really isn't working for me. It makes me feel really unhappy. Can we do something about this together? And if the other person says no, well, that's an answer in itself. We'll talk about that later. But being more honest gives both of you a chance to solve what's happening. If you're not honest, there's no chance in fixing it. The other person will not magically fix it and will not magically figure out what you want. You're not going to get what you want. If you are not honest, it will not happen. Now, part of that is often with attachment. We can't share what we need because we're afraid the other person will reject it or feel like a burden or be miserable. So we never ask. Watch some of my earlier videos about fixing attachment. Read my book, Slaying Your Fear. Do anything about fixing your attachment. If you cannot be honest in your relationships, you are probably part of the problem. And you probably selected your partner because they'll never challenge you to force you to be honest. Sorry if that's a bombshell, but you might be not honest as a way of saving your own relationship. And that's terrible. You can never fix a relationship or get unstuck until you are able to be truly honest. And not the kind of honesty that comes from being so angry that you finally explode. The kind of honesty that is, let's fix it. That's what you got to do. Number 2, be honest. Number 3, make friends. If the only person you have in the world is this one person, well, number 1, you might have attachment issues. And number 2, you're going to be absolutely terrified about losing the only human being you care about and who cares about you. You need more relationships than that one person. In fact, from my experience working with people, you need about 3 human beings who care about you, who focus on you, who approve of you, and who love you. 3 human beings and the brain starts to relax. I don't know why 3. It's just the magic number I have found in all my work with people and fixing attachment. 3. 3 massively decreases anxiety. If you go back and watch my earlier video about why young women are so anxious, many of them don't have those 3 people. They have one boyfriend that they are not super happy with. And that's why a lot of women get so depressed too. They are stuck with one partner in a bad relationship with barely any communication where they feel they can't be honest. And that's it. Maybe they have their mom. And that's not a great relationship either in most of those circumstances. Friends. I have earlier videos on how to make friends too. I have all kinds of stuff. And you could just make friends. You really can. It's not as hard or as terrifying as people think. You need friends. And not friends that you are attracted to, which means probably not friends of the opposite sex, if you're like most people. Not friends you are going to want to have sex with. Not friends that you can start having an emotional affair with. Not friends you're going to vent about your partner to. Not friends that are going to become someone you want instead. Real friends. Good friends. You need that. You need multiple relationships so that your brain calms down and doesn't say, this is the only human being I have on earth. I can never speak what's true and never address problems. I have to keep silent because there's always a risk I could lose them. You need more than that. And to that end, number 4, connect to your biological family as much as possible. Now, if you have some of these earlier issues, you might have attachment issues, which means that might have come from your mother and father, most likely. Whether they're good or bad. They could just be anxious people and they don't know what to do, but they're pretty good. You just don't have that relationship. If so, fix it. Fix things with your siblings, with your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, whoever it might be. Build stronger biological relationships with your family. They're built-in friends in a way. They're built-in support networks. We're supposed to have family that we can turn to if things don't go right. If you have no exit plan, if this relationship goes terrible, that's a big part of your problem. If possible, if your family is not toxic and violent and horrible and manipulative to you, fix any of those relationships that you can. It goes along with building friends. If you have 3 family members and 3 friends, that's 6 people. Your partner is just a 7th. There's a lot less pressure on that relationship to be perfect if you have 7 people than if you have 1. Get unstuck by increasing your number of healthy platonic and family relationships. Not sexual, not romantic. Don't have an affair. That won't fix anything. It really won't fix you. Fix things with your family if you can, even if it's just one member. And number 5, make peace with losing a bad partner. A lot of people are in a relationship just because they're afraid to live without that partner. Now, part of that is chemical addiction. Part of it's dopamine addiction. Part of it's oxytocin addiction. If you go without for most of your childhood and suddenly meet one person who gives you oxytocin boosts, research shows that you have more of a jealousy and more of a guarding effect on that person. You will become very possessive and very terrified of losing that person. All these other steps, making friends, being honest, connecting to your biological family, will show you that you are not only getting an oxytocin drip that's rare. That's a rarity, scarcity mindset. It's a scarcity mindset is what that is no one else on earth can give me this oxytocin that I have finally found. I will die without it. That's your brain telling you that. You need more oxytocin boosts and vasopressin boosts from other people. Watch my earlier videos if you're not sure what that means. I have tons of videos on these things. It's attachment, though. It's purposely, intentionally building good attachment and good relationships with multiple people so that you can get out of a bad relationship if you have to. The paradox with most people is that your relationship won't get better until you're willing to lose your partner. Because if you're only together because of mental sickness, that is not a good relationship. And it won't last. You're both going to be 45 or 50 and finally break up. And then where will you be? Isn't it better to lose that person now because you got better than to lose them 15 years from now because you hate each other? Your chance to have kids might be gone. I've worked with so many women in their 50s who lose a lifelong 20-year partner that they always imagined they would eventually work things out and fix them, and they didn't, and they never had kids, and now they're 50 and alone, and they hate it. Don't be that person. It doesn't matter if you want kids now or not. It doesn't matter if you think you're going to be together forever or not. It's not going to work out if your relationship is built on mental sickness, on broken attachment, on never being honest, on having no other friends, on having no one else in your life. If that's what your entire relationship is built on, is silence, secrets, and desperation, that's going to kill you both. Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't have to. Build family connections. Build friend connections. Work out. Be honest. And be ready to lose somebody who doesn't want you to get better. Because love is a risk. Real love is always a risk. It's having faith that the other person loves you enough to come through on that risk with you. That's what love is. And if you don't have that, then you don't love each other. You're just dopamine connected. You're addicted to each other. It's not love. Don't do that to yourself. You don't have to. Follow these 5 steps, please. Fix your attachment. And you can get unstuck. Thank you for watching. I'm Adam Smith. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe. It helps spread the message. And I'll talk to you again. Until next time.